Right.
Business, we have a relationship business model. And so what we have to do is create community. And community is about the members. Okay. Culture is shared values, norms, traditions, symbols, expectations, right? Practices that grow from a community over time. So the people in the community create the culture. So you can say it this way: culture lives inside community, and community exists inside culture. Right? So culture lives inside community, and community exists inside culture. So it's like saying, if you were to ask the question whether the flame is in the fire or the fire is in the flame, you can't separate them, right? Because if you separate them, you're going to lose the essence of both. And so it's important to understand how community and culture have a connection that creates a healthy environment. Everybody follow me so far? Any questions about that? I'll give you an opportunity to ask questions so I don't go over all this information and then you be lost.
Hey, Doc, let me jump in real quick and just set this up a little bit better as well. As Team Legacy, as a team, one of the things that we've been desiring is for the connectivity, the connectivity to come together even more. Understanding that we're all here to do this together, but really understanding what really makes it. Because a lot of times you hear, oh, we need to be together. We need to be more connected. We need to be this and that and that. And that's one of the reasons why we asked you to come here today and just break it down so that we all understand what part we play within this. So right back to you, sir.
Yeah, let's start with the heart, right? Because community is the heart of culture. Write that down. Community is the heart of culture, right? So community reflects the feelings, the emotions, the passions, the instincts, the tendencies, moods, desires, will, intent of the people, right? Because that's what community is about. Community is about the people. So let's start with the heart, right? Community is the heart of the culture. But people often want to know, like the question you asked, how to create culture. But the truth is you already have one. And here's why. Because the culture you have is perfectly designed to produce the results you're currently getting, whether those results are good or bad. So you already have a culture. You have to decide whether that culture is good or bad in its current state. And if it needs to be improved, then we all have to be on board with improving the culture, right? But to improve the culture, we have to improve the community and vice versa. So that's why that part is important, because if you permit certain behavior, then you promote that behavior. So if you want your culture to change, you have to be willing to change the community, because community and culture are inseparable. Does that make sense? And so I think it's important for us to understand that. Now we have to accept the reality. Now, that's what we're talking about, right? So we're evaluating this. And sometimes, it just depends on who's doing the evaluating. But when you look at your company culture, right, you're looking at it and you're trying to see like what's actually working and what may not be working, right? And that's why it's important. When you have the leaders together, everybody's sharing their perspective, everybody has a voice, because some people are going to see things that other folks miss because of blind spots, right? Sometimes you miss what should be seen because of what you're looking at. And so a lot of times you may have someone who may catch something that someone else doesn't catch, but you don't look at anything. When you're dealing with community and you're dealing with culture, and all of these folks are like-minded individuals, everything is about perspective. And so you don't want to look at it as when somebody voices something that they see in the culture or within the community, you don't want to see it as a knock. It's not a knock on the culture. It's not a knock on the community. It's bringing something to our attention that we can address, right? So it's about an opportunity for us to improve. That's it. It's giving us an opportunity to improve. Now, when I say accept the reality, here's one thing that you have to accept as an individual, And especially, it must begin with the leadership. The first thing you must accept, and you may want to write this down, is some people will be a blessing to the culture. Others will be a burden. You have to accept that because there is no way around that. Once you accept that, then you're not tossed to and fro based on the actions of others. You have to fully accept the fact that some people are going to be a blessing to the culture and some people are going to be a burden on the culture. That's a fact. So you set your expectations based on data points. What do you have, right? And that's where your expectations are. You ought to know who your rising stars are. You ought to know who the people are going to always show up and how they show up. Like, you're going to have data points. And so when you know what those data points are, you have to leverage. That's what it's about. When you're building community, and we're going to talk a little bit about collaboration here in a second, but it's about leveraging the strength. So we're going to get to that. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and talk about it now. One of the things that I say often is to create a healthy culture of any kind, you need collaboration. I'm going to spell out culture for you. You need collaboration. You need unity, loyalty, trust, understanding, relationships, and good exchange. That's CULTURE. You need collaboration, unity, loyalty, trust, relationships, and good exchange. Now, let's itemize each one. When you deal with collaboration, collaboration is about the members. It's about bringing people together. That's what collaboration is about. It's about bringing people together. But when you bring those individuals together, you have to leverage the strengths within the group to work toward a common goal. So when we collaborate, we're going to bring people together, and then we're going to leverage the strengths of the people within the group. Because everybody has something they're strong in, right? And so we're going to leverage the strengths collectively, and that's how we're going to collaborate. So collaboration is about the members. It brings people together. Unity is about the mission. So collaboration is about the members. Unity is about the mission. So it creates a shared identity. It creates a shared purpose. And you can have those things even in the midst of adversity, because you're always going to have some form of adversity. And that's why you need unity while you're collaborating. We still need to remain on task. And how do we remain on task? We stay unified in our effort toward completing the mission. Is that making sense so far? Okay. Then we need loyalty. Now, loyalty, remember, collaboration is bringing people together, but loyalty is holding people together. And you have to be able to hold people together through challenges. Okay? In that loyalty, you're going to create and you're going to cultivate two things: commitment and resilience. So you can write that down. Commitment and resilience through difficult times is loyalty, right? Holding people together during those difficult times. And then we need trust, right? We need trust. And trust is established, and I like to say, well, let me say it this way. Trust is instilled and increased over time through openness, through transparency, and the freedom to be vulnerable without fear. That's what's going to create trust, right? Follow through creates trust, right? Saying what you mean, meaning what you say, and following up every single day, like doing the things that you have to do, that when you say something, that you actually do what you say you're going to do. So we create that trust loop, right? Because everybody has to be involved in that. So now you have trust. You also have to have understanding. Okay, and with understanding, it requires empathy and compassion. This is how we turn conflict into connection. Okay? This is how we do that because we have a high level of understanding. What I tell people often is the greatest hindrance to effective listening is to make agreement the goal. Listen, we don't have to agree. What we need to do is to have a high level of understanding of each other. So we're going to maintain our relationship based on understanding, not agreement. I understand a lot of people that I don't agree with, but we maintain our relationship because I understand where they're coming from, even if I disagree. Does everybody understand that? It becomes a tool that we use to maintain peace among the brethren, right? That's important, like, is to be able to do that. This is how we can coexist. I know where you stand, you know where I stand. And so we're not going to step on each other's feet. Does that make sense? Okay. Also, relationships. Relationships. This is our emotional as well as our social ties. What relationships do is when we tie ourselves together in culture and community, it gives a face to the culture. Okay? It gives a face to the culture. Now we're not just dealing with numbers. We're dealing with real people. Right? It brings the human element to what we do. Does everybody get it? Can't be what's in it for me. Right? Because what we're doing is when we create teams, we're creating a group of individuals that we are to serve. That's what we're doing. We're creating a group of individuals that we are to serve. So it takes a very different mindset. You can't be in it, what's in it for me. You're coming in with a servant mentality, right? Exercising some servant leadership. You're doing the things you're supposed to do. And the boomerang effect happens, right? What goes out comes back to you. And so that's what you're doing in that environment. So we're creating that. And lastly is exchange, right? You have to have good exchange. What are we exchanging? We're exchanging ideas. We're exchanging support. We're exchanging resources. We're exchanging respect. Like, we're exchanging everything because everything is a two-way street, right? It's coming up and down, right? And so everything that we're doing, we're working to exchange the best information that we have so that everyone grows together, because that's what we want. We want mutual growth. Now, everyone won't grow at the same rate, but we want to know that everyone's growing, right? We don't want anybody standing alone. I want everybody moving forward. Everybody progressing. Does that make sense? So when you look at the culture and the community that you have, those two things are tied together, and these are the elements within that culture and community that will help it to become a very healthy environment. Now, we have to look at things at the micro level and the macro level. Okay, so it's important for us to do that. So when we're in the community, I'll say it to you this way: a purpose-driven life. So, Benny, I'll talk to you because I can see you, sir. So if you have a purpose-driven life, that's micro success. Are you following me? Right? So a purpose-driven life is micro success. So Benny has a moral obligation to his own commitment to have micro success by having a purpose-driven life. So every day when you wake up with purpose, on purpose, so that you have a purpose-driven life. Does that make sense? Right? Okay. Yeah. I have the same moral obligation, but when we come together, we're both doing that at the micro level, but a purpose-driven culture or a purpose-driven community creates macro success. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, because when we go to 30,000 feet, now at the macro level, now we get to, right? We got to zoom out. Everybody, we're doing the drone thing now. We got to zoom out, get a good look at the macro level, and now we want to see that kind of purpose-driven culture or community at the macro level. But it's only because people have purpose-driven lives at the micro level. Right? Anybody follow me? Chris, you follow me on that? No, I'm pushing out information, but y'all know I don't like monologue all by myself now. I can't stand it.
Well, let me jump in real quick. Let me ask you this. Because reading about this and just knowing a little bit about this, when we think about the business, it's something to be said that there are people who will stay in your company or in your organization and never make a dime, but because they feel like they're a part of something, they'll stay. And even if they don't do anything, because they feel like they're respected or they feel like they're contributing, they may actually go and push and make some sales or do whatever it is to help someone else elevate because they believe in the overall purpose of that community. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that's really important because I think it speaks to why do people hang around and don't do anything, right? If a person hangs around and doesn't necessarily do anything, there are a number of variables that go into that. And here's what I do: I try not to assume when I can ask thought-provoking questions. Right? I can ask a person a thought-provoking question and let them tell me what the issue is. Right? And then I try to use leadership styles, which I'm teaching Leadership 101 right now, and I'm going to get to that. But it's important to be able to use various leadership styles to be able to influence the thoughts and behaviors of other people. But it's impossible for you to speak directly to the issue if you don't know what the issue is. You follow me? And so it's important, right, for you to develop the relationship and rapport with people so they will open up to you. We talked about trust, right? So if a person is not opening up and letting you know what the issue is, maybe it's a trust issue. And maybe you have to develop that relationship and rapport that opens up the trust level. And we just talked about ways that you can instill trust and increase it over time, right? So like this network marketing is a long game. Like there are a lot of people who experience some quick success. It happens from time to time, but network marketing is a long game. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you got to think like Planet Marketing is relatively new, but Mr. Donald Bradley ain't been doing network marketing with network marketing. Like he's been doing this for a long time. You talk to anybody, Holton Bug, any of these guys that are really super successful in what we do, they didn't just start doing this. Like they've been doing this for a long time. They've been doing it with different projects, but they've been doing it for a while because network marketing is about the long game. And so you have to know what you're signing up for. I'm in it for the long haul, right? This is a marathon, but I can run it like a sprint. I want y'all to get that, right? This is a marathon, but I can run it like a sprint. You ever seen some of them guys who finished first in the marathon? I guarantee you, if you got next to that guy and you start running, you be in a dead sprint and he'd still be beating you. Because he's running a marathon, but he's running it like a sprint. Y'all see what I'm saying? Yeah, because if you develop yourself in such a way where you can do it that way, then guess what? Go get it. Do what you can do. But you have to be in it for the long haul. This ain't something you can dabble with. Right? You got to really be committed to it. And that's why it's important. So if you're trying to get people to work with you, like sometimes people really don't understand the assignment, Chris. Sometimes people really don't understand the assignment, right? And so we have to increase people's knowledge base. Some people have never done network marketing before. They don't know anything about it, right? And they don't know it as a profession. Now, they don't realize that they've been participating in the industry by word of mouth most of their life, right? But they don't understand how it works as a profession. And so we have to educate people on how to be able to do that. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I think in some cases, Doc, especially when people enter into this industry, they don't really understand what it really takes, right? And that's, they think a lot of us have shown people a presentation, and immediately they start thinking, oh wow, I know this person, I know that person. They're gonna come in, they're gonna book travel, they're gonna partner with me and this and that, and I'm gonna make a lot of money really quick. But they don't realize that excitement will stop right there, because once you start talking to those people and they start shutting you down, the reality just sets in. It's not going to work that way. And it's where a community that you become a part of, you get that atmosphere that helps bring that collaboration and help support you and encourage you that, hey, just keep on going one more step. I've experienced that as well. Let me share with some things that can help you take that next step and go a little bit farther. It just helps them in that case, that how important the community can be to help you go from one step, or say from home plate to first base, just help you get to the next base.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. But it can also be possible that that's the way we present the information. If you present the information like a get-rich-quick scheme, then you could be guilty of creating that type of that type of idea in a person's mind. So your presentation has to be realistic. It's all about how you deliver the information. Does everybody understand? Yeah, like, what kind of conversation are you having? Because you got to remember, this industry is about word of mouth. So people are driving that. We're the walking, talking commercials. And what are you saying? Like, what are you saying?
Doc, we have Bob has a question.
Yes, sir.
A statement.
Dr. Atkins, thank you. Thank you. I'll be brief. Could you say whatever you focus on expands?
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
I mean by that, when you whatever you focus on, it expands. If you focus on getting knowledge, you focus on building community, it starts to expand, and also can go in a different direction. If you focus on negative all the time, that expands as well. So I was just sharing your take on that statement. Whatever you focus, it expands.
Yeah, because your mind is geared. Now you're dealing with neuroscience here. Your mind is geared to move toward your dominant thought pattern. I call it the DTP, right? So whatever your DTP or your dominant thought pattern is, your mind is geared to take you in that direction. This is why we're encouraged to think a certain way. For those of us that read the good book, when you go to Philippians, it talks about what we should think about. Think about these things that are pure, things that are lovely, things like, right? Think on these things. Why? Because your brain is wired to take you straight in the direction of what your dominant thoughts are. So that's why you have to surround yourself with the right kind of people who are thinking the right way. Because thoughts become words, and words become actions, and actions become habits, and habits become character, and character forms your destiny over time, right? And so if you are around the right kind of people who are first thinking the right kind of way, then they're talking the right kind of way, right? If they're talking the right kind of way, then they're acting the right kind of way. If they're acting the right kind of way, then they're doing that repetitiously, then they have the right kind of habits. Right? And so these are things that we need to think about. Some of us spend so much time thinking about failure, that's all we ever do. Because your mind will take you into the direction of your dominant thoughts. And if your dominant thoughts are failure, then that's the direction that you're going. Just like, if anybody know anything about NASCAR, right? In NASCAR, what they teach you, because you go around in a circle at 200 plus miles per hour, right? That ain't easy, right? But what they tell those drivers is, you do not focus on the wall. Because if you focus on the wall, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to run right into it. Right? And this is what we end up doing. Like, listen, anybody ever read Go for No? Okay, now watch this. All right. Here's what you have to do. You have to go for no, but think about yeses. Don't think about no's. Go for no's, but don't think about no's. Because if you think about no's, your mind will take you to people who are going to validate what you think about. So you're going to end up, when you make your list, if all you're doing is thinking about no's, you're going to be writing down people who are guaranteed to tell you no. You got to go for the no's, but you can't think about no's. Does that make sense? All right, I see some faces here, heads nodding, right? Y'all getting it, right? You can't think about the no's. And I think so many of us are stuck there. Now, what we have to understand is that how we function as adults in our personal lives, as well as our professional lives, and even as entrepreneurs in business, a lot of that is tied to the way that we were raised. So a lot of us have underlying issues that we have to get treated because it affects our ability to be positive. Some of us had negative parents, negative guardians, people who said things to you, right? That's why you have to remember some voices never go silent. So something someone said speaks louder than anything you're saying. When a person is talking to you from the stage and saying all this positivity, right? This positive stuff, speaking positively to you, something somebody said when you were 7 is still on replay in your brain. And that is a part of your dominant thought pattern. And no matter how hard you try to disprove that being right, you end up proving it right all the time. You know why? It's because that's what you think about. If somebody said, you're not smart, you're never going to be able to do anything, and this person could tell you, like, and think about it. If somebody said that and they hold that much weight in your life and they see you trying to do something in business for yourself and they say, oh man, that ain't going to work. If they say that to you and their voice holds weight in your life that goes all the way back to your childhood, you can read all the books you want to read. You can hang around all the right people you want to hang around. But until you address that elephant in the room and you do the work that you need to do to free yourself from that voice, it's going to be impossible for you to be successful doing what you're doing. And it ain't going to be because you're not showing up. It ain't going to be because you're not reading. It ain't going to be because you ain't got a good list. It ain't going to be because you ain't got a good conversation. It ain't going to be because you ain't sharing videos. It's going to be because of your own personal trauma that you haven't been able to get past. So all of these things impact our ability to be successful because at the end of the day, though you're working with a team, you are independent in business. When you're an entrepreneur, guess what? You may be working with a group of people, but you're still an independent travel professional. You're independent, working interdependent with others, but it's still you. Right? You have you have to understand, IntelliTravel has a brand. Planet Marketing has a brand. You are your brand working in collaboration with these two multi-million-dollar companies. But if you see your personal brand as being cheap, come on, Benny. If you see, Benny, am I talking right now? If you see your, listen, it don't matter.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's almost like I remember the one time we were talking about, imagine if Michael Jordan, that's what it was. The stat is Michael Jordan missed more game-winning shots than he made, but he always believed he could make the game-winning shot.
Exactly.
And what if he had the mindset of, well, I'm going to miss this shot anyway, so
That's important what you just said. Because he believed that he would make the shot, he would take the shot.
Exactly.
Because you always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Does everybody follow me, right? So it's all about your personal belief system. As long as you can believe that you can make the shot, does it mean you're going to always make it? No, but I believe I can. And guess the important shot is the next shot. It's not the shot you just took. It's the next shot. So what you missed the last shot? It's the next shot that has to be most important to you. And you know that if I have the confidence that I can make the next shot, then I'll take the next shot. The day you lose confidence in your ability to make shots, you won't take shots. Does that make sense? Yes, Miss Robin, New Jersey. How you doing?
Hello, how are you doing, Dr. Atkins? Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to ask this question before you moved on to something else. You mentioned that people have to free themselves from that voice, whether you're reading and doing all these things. Those of us that may have been raised in the church, we always learn that the root of all evil is money, right? So how do you overcome that, even though you're reading and even though, you're learning and around like-minded people? How do you overcome something like that?
So first of all, it's the love of money that's the
right,
root of
right. The love of money. I quoted it wrong.
No. But the truth of the matter is, so many people are held in bondage because of the misquote. The misquote matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? It matters. And there are so many people who believe that way because of the way that it was taught to them. You have to, if I'm talking to a person who's dealing with that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get them to understand the difference between education and indoctrination. I'm going to get them to understand the difference, right? It's okay. I'm going to get them to understand the difference between education and indoctrination. Because education is going to be based on truth and facts. Indoctrination, watch this, you can teach anything. You can teach anything with indoctrination because you don't need anything to validate what you say. Does everybody understand? You don't need anything. Listen, when you indoctrinate somebody, everything is right. Do y'all understand? Because you don't need to validate it. You don't need truth. You don't need facts. Indoctrination is so subjective that whatever you say is right. That's why indoctrination is so powerful. Does everybody understand? Yeah, because indoctrination leads to brainwashing. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely, because nobody has to validate what they say. And that's real dangerous. So the first thing I would do, sis, is I would educate that person and let them understand the difference between the two. And then I will begin to itemize, right, some things that will let them know that success and being prosperous and being productive is tied to the divine will of the Most High. I would definitely be able to show with ease. That's easy work. Yes, absolutely. That is
Thank
easy.
You, sir.
Yes. Yes, Brother Ball. Coming right back at me.
Hey, no, and I'm not recruiting. I'm just saying this, and this is powerful for some. If you've grown up and people say you can be successful because you live on this side of the railroad tracks. And that indoctrination may carry a person their whole life. I can't go to college because I live on this side of the railroad tracks and other folks live on the other side and they're more successful.
Yes.
It's the mindset. When you got one community will have 10 people in their home run their business, and the only time they close their business when their child receives their master's or doctorate degree.
Okay.
Mindset.
Yeah. So now, let me do an addendum. Can I help you with that real quick? Okay. So what happens in that instance is it creates a mentality. We have to remember now, mentality and mindset are not the same. So mentality is the parent. Mindsets are the children. So mindsets are subsets to mentality. So what happens in the instance that you're talking about is it creates a mentality. And then from that mentality spawns mindsets. So you may have a health mindset that pertains to what you're talking about. You have an economic mindset that pertains to what you're talking about. You have an emotional mindset that will pertain to what you're talking about. You have a psychological mindset that pertains to what you're talking about. You have a social mindset that pertains to what you just talked about. You will have a spiritual mindset that pertains to what you just talked about, all of which are negative based on that one indoctrination that created a mentality. From that mentality spawns mindsets. Does everybody get it? That's what happens. In the industry, we talk often about mindsets, but you can't talk about mindsets without talking about mentality, because it takes mentality to create mindsets. Does everybody understand? So sometimes we're trying to get a person to have the right mindset when they have the wrong mentality. Come on, man. Come on. I'm working hard right now. Some of y'all getting it, and some of y'all catch me in the morning, right? You get it in the morning, right? Because this is what we're doing, right? And so it's important for us to understand. That's why I say you have to be careful, because anybody can give advice. It's subjective. You follow me? That's why we're encouraged to seek wise counsel. Means always get your information from the experts. Get your information from good sources. Does everybody understand? You have to seek out. That's why you have to seek wise counsel, because you have to go and find the information. You have to go find the right information because it's available to you. You just got to go find it.
Doc, hold up. Doc, hold up. No, right there. But what about finding the right counsel? How do you identify that? Because thinking about us in our business, right?
Yeah.
Finding the right counsel can be subjective. And if you're not careful, you can start listening to this person and that person and get off track and never get to where you need to be because you don't know who really to follow or listen to.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let me say it to you this way. It's important for us to understand that we are following one of these four people: a leader, a mentor, a coach, or a role model. Does everybody follow me? Okay, you say, well, how do I know that I'm following the right person? Here's what I'll say to you, Chris, is if you say that Mr. Bernard Hampton is my leader, then the question that I will ask you is, I'm okay with him being your leader. My question that I would have to ask you is, where is he taking you? That's a thought-provoking question. Where is he taking you? Because anybody that you deem to be your leader, ships are designed to take you somewhere. If Mr. Hampton is giving you leadership, he should be taking you somewhere. Anybody ever been on a cruise before? You ain't been on a cruise that ain't got a destination. I hope not. Because if you have, you wouldn't be on this Zoom. You'd probably be out in the water somewhere trying to find out where you're going. Right? So if he's providing you with leadership, the question you have to ask him is, hey, sir, where are you taking me? That's a fair question for a follower of a leader. And he's got to have some evidence of some places that he's gone. Anybody got a passport with a bunch of stamps on it? Yeah, if you got a passport with a bunch of stamps on it, that means you done been some places. And if you done been some places, You can take some people to some places because you done been there. Leaders provide information and instruction that leads you to a destination. Chris, I can tell you how to get to Boston because I live here. I've been here. I can help you get from where you are to where I am. Are you following me? So when you say, who am I following? Look for people who have the evidences. If I have somebody that I call that person a mentor, mentors provide information and instruction that leads to my development. So my question, if Mr. Hampton is your mentor, then the question you got to ask him is, right? Think about it. Development. How are you helping me? Not where you taking me. That's leadership. How are you helping me? Because this is about my development. Man, if Mr. Hampton teaching you how to drive, it's hard to do that when he in the driver's seat. He got to be willing to get on the passenger side, put the wheel in your hand, and help you develop your driving skills. That's mentorship. It's a little bit more intimate than leadership. Y'all see how that works? Because in mentorship, you got to be willing to put your life on the line for somebody else. Man, if I got to get on the passenger side and put the wheel in your hand, I'm at risk too, am I not? Mentorship is more intimate than leadership. Leadership, I can just get out in front and say, we're going this way, and you need to keep up so you don't have to catch up. Mentorship is a little bit different, right? Then you have coaching. Coaching provides information and instruction that leads to positive results. Chris, if Mr. Hampton is your coach and you ain't getting no positive results, you should be asking him, what are you... you follow me? Yeah, you should be asking him, what are you teaching me? What are you teaching me? Because if he teach you how to get the results, see, coaching is different from therapy. Therapy teaches you to need somebody or need something or substance. Coaching is different. Coaching teaches you how to get stuff on your own so you don't need me. Does everybody understand? That's what coaching is. Coaching gets you to go get it for yourself. And then the coach holds you accountable when you're not getting it. Because you know how. So you got to look for people who have the evidence. Then when you're looking for a role model, if he's going to be your role model, he has to be in the role that you desire to be in. Because he has to be an example of the information and instruction. We're talking about how to create culture. This is how you create culture. You got to have resources, valid resources at your disposal. That's what you have to have. And if we embrace and embody the fact that leadership is a shared responsibility, there are no Lone Rangers here. There's some people who are really, really good. Man, I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know everything. But you don't have to know everything, but you should know what you're talking about. If I open my mouth, what I'm talking about, put yourself out there if you want to, I'll show you. I do know what I'm talking about. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I know how to pass the microphone to someone else. I swim in my lane. Does everybody understand? I swim in my lane because I know I don't have to carry the bulk of the load. There are other leaders in this industry also who are very, very knowledgeable and very, very good at what they do. But I don't cross over into their lane. That's how you get disqualified. Anybody ever run track before? You can't cross over in somebody else's lane. You get DQ'd, right? I don't want to get DQ'd crossing over in somebody else's lane. Here we just cross over in people's lane and say stuff and we don't know what we're talking about. We got to stop doing that kind of stuff because we lose credibility when we do that. Right? In this industry, man, you can't afford to do that because so many people are already negative from jump. All you got to do is give them one reason and they're gone. So you got to really be on point to develop that trust and that rapport that you really need in order to be successful. Yes, Brother Benny.
Someone was asking, Natalie Phillips was asking, what if the coach is teaching you, but the person still doesn't get it? What do you do?
If the coach is teaching you and you're not getting the information,
yes.
All righty. That's a very, who asked that question?
Natalie Phillips.
Oh yeah, Natalie. All right, Natalie. All right, so I don't see you on my screen. Oh yeah, I do. I see you now. All right, Miss Natalie. All right, so if the coach is teaching you and you're not getting the information, you're not comprehending, right? You're not getting it. Who's that issue about? That is not about the student. That's about the coach. Let me say that again. Coaches or wannabe coaches, you have to understand that your responsibility to players is to make sure that learning takes place. It's like a teacher in the classroom. The teacher has to adapt to the learning style of the student. Does everybody understand that? Yes, because who's the professional? And the professional has the most tools. So the teacher, the leader, the coach has to develop their leadership style to meet the needs of the player. You don't just get to say they ain't coachable. If you want to clap, you can turn your camera off so nobody see you, right? Go ahead and clap. I know you want to clap, right? You don't get to just say they not coachable. That's a cop-out. You don't get to say that. Do you understand? You don't get to say that because as a coach, that's your job, is to provide them with information and instruction that lead to positive results. Not just your star players, not just the ones that hit game-winning shots. It's the last one on the bench because they're a player too. And player development coaches is a part of your job also. You ain't just riding high on your superstars. You got player development, that's your job. You understand? That person, that 15th person on the bench, may not be really good when they get to you, but they better be getting better week to week. They can't make no shots, but they better be the best at boxing out, getting some rebounds. They better be really good at playing some deep. You better find something, coach, that you can deploy that person and get something out of them because they're here too. You don't get to ignore them and act like they're not a part of your leadership challenge. See, when you fully embrace that responsibility, some of y'all won't want to be coaches no more. So that's why coaches have to be constantly improving. Coaches got to be constantly improving, man. You got to be improving every day, right? Because if you're not improving every day, like continuous learning and improvement, that's got to be a non-negotiable for you if you're a coach. If you're a leader, that's got to be non-negotiable because you may be having a great deal of success leading the team that you have right now. You don't know who's going to drop in your organization tomorrow. Boy, somebody dropping your organization tomorrow and they got 4 degrees and they super smart, right? They done been in business for themselves. They already 6-figure income earner. Yeah. You're going to have to help them. And what are you going to do? So we got a lot of leaders who just comfortable where they are. And they're not developed. If you're not well spoken, then you need to be working on your skill set. If you're not a good presenter, you need to be working on your skill set and find somebody who can help you with that and humble yourself enough to be faithful, available, and teachable. Because you want other people to be that for you. You got to demonstrate that. The truth of the matter is, in network marketing, there are people who aren't good. It's not because they can't be good. It's because they're really not trying. Because everything that you suggest them to do, they don't do it. Everything they write down, they don't make those words come to life. Man, the answers to most of y'all questions ain't on this Zoom. It ain't at the big event. It's already in your notes. But you keep asking the same question over and over and over. And you can go in your notes and wrote the same answer down 5 or 6 times. You just ain't never done anything with it.
Hey, Doc.
Yes.
You got 2 minutes because I know you said you had something else going on.
Yes, I got to be ready.
If you could close this out real quick, just talk about, I know you just mentioned the big event, but can you kind of close this out, bring it together with the importance of the collaboration of the community in it, of attending our big events, such as our international convention that's coming up in September?
Yeah, here's what I would say, guys. This is the most important thing that I could probably share with you as it relates to any kind of event, big event, small event, whatever, everything in between. It's not just that you show up. It's how you show up. Everything, like showing up is important, but it's not more important than how you show up. That's about energy, effort. That's enthusiasm. Like you're not going to get what you should get from a big event if you show up with the wrong attitude. If you don't show up with the right mentality. If you don't show up with the right, like some of you are going to take your hard-earned dollars and sacrifice to go to the big event, and you're in the hallway the whole time. You're gonna get to the big event with all the superstars, Director Gordon being right. You at the Grammys. All the superstars are there. And you ain't gonna meet nobody. Now I gotta date myself. Your Rolodex ain't gonna grow at all. Man, I got where the millennials at? Y'all don't know anything I just said. I just spoke some French, right? That sounds good. I know French. Vines, I know French, right? When I say Rolodex, I just lost them. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Some of you spend too much. When you get to the convention, that's your opportunity to make connections. That's your opportunity to make connections. Listen, if you know some people, you got family members in Chicago. When you're at the convention, that's your opportunity to connect with the Miss Pat who lives out there. I mean, when you look at the people, neighbors got where they're from, and you got people in those same areas, and you're not connecting with people that, if I get in that area, I'm gonna connect with somebody who is already in Planet that's in that area, and they're gonna help me. We gotta reel this person in. Like, you're not networking. You just going to the convention, but you're not really going. So this year, show up the right way. You got to show up hungry. You got to show up ready to get the experience, right? Maximize the experience while you're there. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah, right? Show up to the Zooms. Some of y'all show up to the Zooms too relaxed. You laid back in the bed, eating chips, half sleep. You ain't wrote down nothing I just said. Yeah, you on the Zoom, you showed up. But how did you show up? Does everybody get it? All right, Mr. Hampton, big salute to y'all. I love all of y'all. I gotta go. I gotta be on the radio in 3 minutes.
Well, Dr. Atkins, I want to say thank you on behalf of the whole team. We really appreciate everything that you brought. Hey, y'all, if y'all enjoy what he brought, come on, put some firing emojis, put something in there. Let's just appreciate him. We know he had to hop off. I just want to share this one thing with you. Convention, September 4th through September 6th. For those of you who have been in the business for less than 30 days, you got that $100 discount that's attached to it. I believe the last day for registering for the convention is August 27th. So let's go ahead and get those tickets, register. There are people on our team that are looking for roommates. We would encourage you to go to the school app. There's some posts that's been in there. Hey, we're not going to the convention to be comfortable in the bed. We're going to the convention to get the information, grow and collaborate and build relationships. So if you need to bunk up, share a room, let's do that. Let's collaborate. I want to thank every last single director that's on the line. I want to say, from me as a goal builder, we appreciate the path that you have set before us. Right? You help set the stage, and we're here to help push you even farther because we believe in the course that you helped set. right? And that's real talk. That's coming from our heart right here. We love each and every one of you. One thing we want to put out tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. We have our reading room boot camp. For those of you who have been, if you've been a part of it, can you drop some fire and emojis if you found some value in it? We want as many people to continue to come on because we're growing, y'all. And tomorrow we have another special guest speaker coming on that's going to share some information with us that we're going to interview and have a great time. I also want to put out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Anyone's brought any new team members, we have our orientation call at 7 p.m. Check the school app for that information. Come on board, and we have one of our team members that will walk them through how to utilize the school app, go over some basics with the back office. It's absolutely phenomenal. Let's utilize that resource that we have as a team. Now, if there's nothing else, I see that Mr. Hampton has hopped online. Sir, if you have anything that you want to say, we'll definitely give you space to come forward.
Good, Chris. I know Director Green. She's gonna, guys. She's gonna be facilitating something and convention that Saturday. So I don't know if Director Green you're still on, and you can talk about that, give some more insight. And if you can't, I know Director Gordon is on. So Director Green, if you can. If you don't mind, when you talk about that.
Okay.
Director Gordon, want to get some more emphasis on that?
Yes, sir. So we're going to go to we're going to actually the Epcot Center Saturday after the award ceremony. So all those that would like to go with us, we are going. So I will highly suggest, if you have not completed your Disney training, definitely go ahead and go and complete that Disney training. And if you have not ordered your Embark card, which is your clear card, people, your Embark card, go ahead and go on to pick, because you're going to need that when you actually request for that your benefit, for your travel agent benefit. So that is one of the benefits. We do get a free ticket, but you have to make sure that you have to upload your Embark card, or you just gonna have to end up paying the fee, whatever the cost is to actually get into the Epcot Center. But that is Saturday after the award ceremony. So I see, Connie, you have your hand up.
Thank you. Do you know whether or not when we do the Disney training, if we can go directly to the Disney World and take that? And is that what we need in order to get the card to get in, the pass to get in?
No, you're gonna have to finish College of Disney.
The whole thing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Disneyland, California Disney, Tokyo, the entire thing.
Uh-huh. And then see, and the only thing it is see, every year you just have a course that you just have to stay, you know what I'm saying, just have to re-up. But yep, you have to complete the whole one. You have to complete the whole thing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? But yep, so Saturday after the award ceremony, we will be going to the Epcot Center. And again, if you would like your free ticket, if you have not completed your Disney training, go ahead and get that Disney training done, and make sure you absolutely have your Embark card, because you will, when you actually request for that ticket, you are going to have to upload that Embark card. And just in case some of you all just happen to know, like, what is an Embark card? What is that? What is that? If my nails can pick this up. So if you guys can actually see, this is an Embark card. This just so happens to be my son's one. So can y'all see that? There you go, Direct to Hampton. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah. So definitely make sure, and every year, so that Embark card, every year it goes from January 1st to December 31st every year. So you will have to renew every year with your Embark card. That's all I have, Direct to Hampton.
Thank you. Back to you, Chris.
All right, well, let's go home, everyone. I'm sorry, we are home, right? Listen, we appreciate everyone being on the line. We hope you really got some good content on this. I love this. I mean, culture and community. And we want to encourage everyone, especially those that are part of Team Legacy, go to the school app If you have questions, ask your questions in the school app so that the answer can be posed to everyone, right? Everyone, someone may have the same question as you. Listen, y'all, let's grow together. This is a new day. Don't focus on the past. Let's focus on the future. Let's get what we what we need to get. All right, everyone have a blessed night. On behalf of Director Hampton, the Hamptons, and the whole team, and most of all, thank you to everyone that's on this line tonight. We just want you to be blessed. Have a great night. Have great rest, and let's go and move that genealogy. Peace out, everybody.
Great night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good night,
family.
everyone.